Hey everyone, I'm Rosie and welcome back to my channel. So I recently got this book that is all about Texas. Now, I've never been to Texas. I live pretty far away from Texas, but I did really love how big and beautiful all the images are in this book. There's nature scenes, but also city scenes. There's scenes with water, there's plants. There's a wide variety of images in this book, and I know that there's some really cool stuff in here that we can use to collage with. So let's start flipping through this book and see what we can make. I flipped through this book briefly at the thrift store before I bought it, but I'm excited to just go a lot slower, really look at every image. Oh man, already, this beautiful sunrise. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of beautiful images in this book. Wow, this is a really incredible sort of natural gradient in this photo. Wow. Oh, and it's stalactites. I was looking for these a couple weeks ago. So I have a crazy idea per usual. Also, I just got a cut on my knuckle, so we can ignore my band-aid. I'm fine. So I love this steer image. I love everything about it. I love the size. I love the position of the steer. I love the horns. And when I was looking at this, the horn position kind of reminded me of cactus arms, how they stick up at this, angle. And a few pages after this image, there is this prickly pear cactus bush. And I also really like this image. So I'm wondering if maybe I can stick this steer, maybe hiding behind the cactus bush, and give him cactus horns. Hopefully I can find some cactuses that sort of look like they're sticking up like that. And I can stick him sort of hiding behind the bush like he's hiding in the cactus bush. And because there's a lot of space up in the rest of the image, maybe I can put another animal, maybe up here or something, and try to incorporate a cactus into a different animal so there's more than just that going on. I always say this, that I feel like this might be challenging because I have to find sort of the right cactus, and it's got to sort of fit into the scene. So I'm just going to hope that this works. Let's go for it because I just like the idea too much. All right, I got these two pictures out. I also pulled out my cactus folder. So let's look through this to see if there's anything that we can maybe use for the horns. A lot of these are not quite, we could just give him a hat. Okay, that's a good plan B, but not exactly what I was thinking. I think maybe I could pull a few out of this image, especially if I look at this one, it's kind of branching out like an arm, and maybe you can fake some of this. And I feel like they're kind of the right size, and it is a similar style cactus to this one. So this image might work. It wasn't exactly what I was thinking. I was more thinking, these look fuzzy, but kind of like this with the arm is more what I was thinking, but I think I might be able to make this one work. So I'm gonna pull it out. Let me just check one other place just in case. Okay, yeah. See, a lot of these aren't, sort of the drawn, sticking straight out arms of the cactus. So I'm not sure if this is exactly what I want to go for. I think the other image might work a little bit better. Oh, I wanted to update you on my Cutter Bee scissors. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned that these were really stiff and hard to use, and I wasn't really enjoying them. Now, when I bought these pair of scissors, I actually bought a second pair because I was hoping I was really gonna like them. And I put this pair kind of just in the depths of my craft supplies and kind of forgot that I bought it. So I opened it a couple weeks ago, and these are totally fine. They're perfect scissors. I've been using them now in the past couple of my videos, and I really love them. They're super great. There must be something just wrong with this original pair that I opened. I think there is some misalignment on the handles here that's causing there to be a little bit of friction. And you guys had some great ideas like loosening the screw or adding oil, but I mentioned it because I didn't want anyone to buy these scissors because they saw me using them and then have the same experience that I did. You know, when you buy something, you expect that it's gonna work right when you get it. So that is why I mentioned it, but I do wanna say that the second pair of scissors is totally fine and I love them and I'm going to continue to use them. There was something just wrong with that original pair. So again, that's my little update. I am now a fan, but I just got unlucky with the first pair that I bought. So I got him cut out. Let's see how he works on this image. So I'm thinking I'm gonna tuck him right here behind these cactuses. So, you know, something like that. Oh, okay. You know, he's taking up a lot more space than I thought he might. So I like that he's sort of right in the center. I am a little bit worried about this area over here. There was some grass or some plants over here that were covering up the steer a little bit, but I think that maybe I can find another cactus or something to put over here to cover some of that up. So I am feeling good about this. Let's keep going. All right, I got the cactuses cut out. Let's see if this guy fits back here. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I am still really worried about this area, but we'll figure that out later. Okay, I love it. Next thing we got to do is find the right ones of these cactuses to replace the horns. So, all right, I don't know. I got to figure this one out. Okay, we might not need that third little branch up there, but we'll see what the other one looks like first. So here are the two antlers that I got to replace the horns. I think that they're okay. I do think we don't need this one, this third branch up here. It's going off the page a little bit and it's just not quite right. I think that this one over here is not perfect. I like that this one is going up a lot and this one's not going quite as up, but I think that's okay. It really is sort of the best option that I could find from this image. So I think that it's gonna have to be okay. I'm gonna cut the horns off next and get the cactuses more integrated with the steer's head. And then, and take this part off, and then we'll see where we are after that. All right, I'm liking how this is coming together. I know I talked about maybe putting a second animal up here, but I'm really not sure if there's room. I think I need to find something to cover this area over here. So I'm gonna go back into some books and look for that. I think if I had thought about this a little bit more, I probably could have planned this better, because I think what I should have done is kept these two plants on the image with the steer and then used that to sort of fill in this area here. I'm going to try to do that now. Since we're gonna glue it all together, I feel like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to take these plants out and add them to this scene to help, disguise this area a little bit. I don't know, if it doesn't work, we'll figure it out. But this is probably what I should have done in the first place. So I don't know, let's see if we can fix it. I'm just not finding a whole lot of things to put there to cover that area. So I feel like this is maybe my best solution. So I'm not really sure why I thought cutting out all of these tiny little spikes on this plant was a good idea, but I guess I've got to do what I got to do. All right, I really didn't anticipate initially how much of a background integration I was going to be doing for this, but let's see if this ends up working. Okay, that's really not that bad. I mean, as long as I get these two images to line up perfectly, that integration really isn't bad. I'm kind of digging that. So I think that this is working pretty well. I do feel like it's missing something, like it needs one more thing. Or maybe I think that the background and the steer are blending in too much. They're both this middle tone brown color, and so maybe I feel like the steer isn't popping off enough. I'm not entirely sure what to do next, so I'm gonna think about it for a second. And by think about it for a second, I meant start a whole new collage. So I was feeling really stuck with that first collage I was working on. I was feeling, kind of done with it, and I wasn't sure what else to do. So I went back into the Texas book to find a new image that I was inspired by to start something completely different. So I pulled out 3 new images that I was inspired by. The first one was this guy who just caught a fish. The second one was this cabbage field. I just thought this image was so cool looking. And the last one was this picture of this weird bird who had this really long beak, which was also weird. So when I stared at those 3 images, I decided that I wanted to create this fisherman who was fishing in the field of cabbage. And I thought it'd be funny if we replaced the fish with a thing of cabbage and the guy was fishing cabbage. And I just thought that was kind of a funny idea and a little bit more inspiring, a little bit more refreshing of an idea. So let's see if I can make it work. Now, because I wanted him to be holding a cabbage, I needed to strategically steal one of the cabbages from the field, and I picked the one that was going to be right behind where his shoulders landed, and so I could hide that hole that I created when I stole the cabbage. And then I also cut out a little place for his legs to get tucked behind the front 2 cabbages, so instead of his legs being submerged in water, they are submerged behind cabbages. Unfortunately, the cabbage image wasn't tall enough to accommodate the fisher and his entire pole, so I did have to go steal a different sky from a different picture so I could make the image tall enough to fit everything in. But I luckily found this image that I think ended up being a pretty seamless fit in terms of the cabbage field into the sky. So I was pretty happy with that, and the whole fishing pole fit. I probably could have stopped here with this collage, but I really wanted the cabbage to feel like it was being fished out of the field. And so I found this random hook in this book about knots, about sailing things, and I thought that I could finagle it into some sort of fishing hook. and then maybe even find, a line or some sort of string I could take from that book as well to use as the fishing line and make this really feel like it's being fished. So here's the collage that we made today. I really love it. It's super fun, super silly, and honestly came together really well. It's always exciting when you find two images and they just kind of seamlessly fit together and everything works out really well. I didn't even glue the cactus horns in the steer image. I might revisit that someday, but I really just wasn't feeling it. And I guess this is just a good reminder that if you're struggling with a piece of art, you can walk away from it, you can take a break, go work on something else, and you'll probably come back with fresh eyes and maybe create something even better. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week for another collage video. Bye!